Hello, it's so great to see you today. My name's Teressa Todd. I am a transformational naturopath, biochemist and microbiologist. And today I just wanted to touch base and talk to you about how what you're eating could be affecting your moods, affecting your energy levels, and contributing to maybe some sleep in the lack of sleep that you're getting at the moment. You see, we've got these brain chemicals or nerve chemicals called neurotransmitters. And the neurotransmitters flood our body, mainly in the brain, but they're all the way through our body. And they create a communication network so that our body, our cells and our brain and everywhere in the body can communicate through specific neurotransmitters. Now there's estimated to be more than 40 neurotransmitters. You might have heard of some of them: serotonin, adrenaline, noradrenaline, dopamine, GABA. You may have heard of these around the place, but these neurotransmitters dictate a lot about how we feel, how we think, our emotions, our feelings, our moods, our thoughts, our behaviors. So they're all involved with everything that goes on with our body. When you think about your day and how many moods or thoughts that go through the day, it's the communication from these neurotransmitters that is going on there. So when we want to balance the mood and when we want to balance your energy levels, we want these neurotransmitters to be in a beautiful, think of it as a symphony. You want all of the musicians to be playing together in unison and come in at the right parts when they have to come in at the right stage of the musical piece. And that's the same thing with these neurotransmitters, is we're wanting them to have their moment of eliciting a response in the body, or having a response in the body at the specific time. And sometimes we can become depleted in these neurotransmitters. And this depletion can occur for various reasons, but diet is particularly one of them. And it's something that I do see quite commonly in clinic when I'm speaking with someone about, let me give you an example. Recently had a client who was struggling to sleep. Really struggling to keep asleep, and her moods were out of balance. She was more irritable, she was finding it hard to relax, and she didn't quite know why. And when we delved into the history, we looked at her eating program, and she'd recently gone onto a health and fitness kick. So she'd started going to the gym and started eating a high protein, low carbohydrate, low fat diet, which meant that pretty much most of her foods were some chicken and some greens like broccoli and beans. And that was about the sum total of her main meal at night. And she had a certain portion of chicken and a certain portion of broccoli in the meal. And so what was happening is these foods were contributing to inhibiting her ability to create serotonin. And serotonin is involved in the sleep processes, it's involved in restfulness, it's involved in moods. And so she was finding that because her diet was decreasing her ability to make serotonin, she was feeling irritable and not sleeping very well. And when I spoke to her about her changing her diet and adjusting the meal plan, especially at night, to be able to create the serotonin through the day and the evening as well, she found that within the next couple of weeks she was able to sleep a lot better, that her moods weren't as irritable, but she was still losing weight and her fitness program was still moving forward. So that was the great news with that. But you can see that when our neurotransmitters are out of balance, we could feel moody. You can have food cravings, concentration issues, suffering some fatigue, anxiety and depression, insomnia, even alcohol and caffeine urges. And there's many more, the list goes on. So it's very important to create a balance. And the neurotransmitters are made, we make them in our body, but we make them, like I said before, from certain nutrients in our foods. And so we want to make sure that we've got a balanced diet, and strict, unbalanced, highly processed, highly refined diets don't give us enough of the nutrients we need to create these neurotransmitters. And that can create imbalance and contribute to a fluctuation of your moods and fatigue, and that you're not sleeping very well. So just think about it. Could your diet be contributing to maybe some of the fatigue that you're feeling, the low energy, the moodiness, the irritability, depression, maybe it's the diet. Because if you're not getting certain nutrients like some amino acids such as tyrosine and tryptophan, some of the B group vitamins including B6, folic acid, minerals such as zinc and magnesium, you may not be able to create these neurotransmitters or manufacture them in the body. So just think of it in a scenario, if you were trying to make a cake, a traditional cake, and you needed flour, butter, eggs, and you didn't have one of those ingredients, and we're talking a traditional cake, not some of the beautiful raw food cakes that we can make these days, but the traditional cake of when I was growing up, my mum taught me that we made chocolate cake, and we needed the cocoa, the flour, the milk, the butter, the sugar, and eggs. Now, if you're missing one of those ingredients, you can't quite make the cake. So if you're missing the flour, the cake's not going to rise, and it's not going to be moist, and it's not going to have the flexibility of the cake. So the same happens with our body. If we don't have these nutrients that the neurotransmitters need to be made from, you can't create the neurotransmitters, and so you could get a depletion in one or more of the neurotransmitters. And remembering that many of them work hand in hand. So serotonin, dopamine, melatonin, there's a cycle there that they go through a cycle, a daily fluctuation to help with your waking and your sleep cycles and your moods. So my point today is all about ditching those diets. Ditch the diets. I'm not a big fan of believing in any one kind of diet. I believe we all need to look at what our circumstances are and generally have an overall healthy eating plan. And what that means is having balanced meals. Balanced meals with protein, some of the carbohydrates, and the carbohydrates can come from your salad fruits and your veggies. It can also come from some of the ancient grains or even the whole grains. And then making sure that you're getting a smattering of some good fats and decreasing the amount of saturated fats and especially trans fats in your diet as well. Because all of this kind of eating plan, and it's quite easy once you get into the routine to create an eating plan that has salad fruits and veggies, a bit of protein, either some ancient grains or a whole grain if you can eat those, and some good fats from nuts and seeds and avocado, olive oil, deep sea fish if you eat it. So you can see that you can create this beautiful plate with a plethora of nutrients, and it can still be tasty, healthy, and enticing. And then ditching those ditching the highly processed foods and the refined sugars, because the refined sugars do create an imbalance, particularly in the cortisol neurotransmitter levels. It creates quite an imbalance in those. So ditching the refined sugars and going for more foods as nature intended, including a small amount of dark chocolate. You can use it as a treat, but it's also got some of the ingredients, particularly magnesium, and can help with some of the neurotransmitter production. Activated nuts and seeds are fabulous. So Brazil nuts contain the selenium, almonds, cashews, they've got all of these ingredients, these amino acids that you can use to create these beautiful neurotransmitters. And then also throwing in a variety of berries. You could do a mixed berry mix on a muesli in the morning, or you could put it into your smoothies, or you could just have some with some yogurt as a snack during the day or after dinner and before bed. And the berries will also help to contribute with the balance of the neurotransmitters as well as a lot of the antioxidant nutrients. And like I said before, making sure that you're having enough of your good fats as well. We do need some of these good fats, particularly the olive oil, the oils from the nuts and the seeds, and if you do eat animal products, then the deep sea fish. But don't discard eggs. The choline component of the yolk of the eggs can also help to contribute to some of these beautiful neurotransmitters. And we don't get choline from a lot of other foods, as far as lots of them through the diet. So sometimes using a few soft yolked eggs in the diet throughout a week can also help to contribute to the balance of the neurotransmitters. And then throwing in a smattering of greens, like making sure that your plate always has some greens in there. It's not the only colour of the plate. We definitely want to eat the rainbow, but those greens like the broccolis, the spinaches, the kales, they really can help to produce some of these neurotransmitters as well. So when you're looking at your plate, you want to look at a rainbow of colours and a variety of foods, of healthy, unprocessed, close to nature as can, so that you can ensure that you have a balanced diet and that you're able to help your body create those beautiful neurotransmitters that help keep you happy, healthy, energized, sleeping well, great concentration and cognitive functioning, reduced pain, so you don't have the pain sensitivities, and just overall feeling good in yourself. So it's all about eating your way to happiness and energy and vitality. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.